kind of want to jump into the book.
You want to talk about the book first?
Yeah. We had an extra week, so I kind of just like reread a little bit and had some fun with it. So yeah, I want to jump into Force Collector.
Well, good. Yeah. I didn't get to go through recently.
Gotcha.
I was wanting to as well, but I've been busy with some other things. But no, Force Collector. I kind of enjoyed this book. I had fun with it.
Yep. Kevin Shinick was the author. And it really felt to me, and maybe it's because of, like, the main force power in this book is psychometry, right?
Yeah.
And I link that power, one, with Quinlan,
sure,
but two, with Cal Kestis so much. This felt like almost like a video game adaptation to a novel because of all of the locations that you're familiar with. I think video games do that a lot. Like, they'll sometimes bring in unique locations, but most of the time it's going to be planets that you're familiar with, so it can be more fleshed out. I really felt that with this Force collecting book, but not just the locations, but the whole idea of this novel.
Yeah.
So what did you think of our first sequel era novel that we've covered?
Yeah. No, I mean, I liked it. I think part of why I enjoyed it as much as I did is because of those, like the connections into the things I already know to get me introduced to this character that, I don't know, maybe will show up again, maybe shows up in something else, you know, like we're introduced to, what is it, Carr?
Yeah.
Carr as like he's just a kid at school, like being bullied. Whenever he like force choked the kid in the beginning, I was like, oh man, what's going on here? And then it was just, they were just making fun of him and stuff too. So like, I felt for the kid a little bit. Yeah. Just the journey that they have and the glimpses into things I recognized, but sometimes just a little bit more, one way or another. And I was like, oh, that's really cool.
You kind of get the feeling that, like, this book is like Carr watches Star Wars and kind of, like, learns the history as, you know, this was a lead-up to The Rise of Skywalker. Okay. This novel was released around then. And I know that because I was reading the Wikipedia entry, and they said that he had Carr visit the remains of the second Death Star in the original version.
Really?
And they were like, can you take that out? Because we're good. Like a year late. That was like a year before the movie came out.
Gotcha.
And then
don't do that one.
Yeah, they don't do that one. So yeah, that was actually pretty close there. And then another little thing I saw was that he also, in the same call about make sure you take out Death Star 2, they were like, so psychometry is actually a power? Like, he didn't know that. You know?
Really?
And they were like, we also just featured it in Jedi Fallen Order, and when that happens, here's what it looks like. And they would like show him the clips, and he's like, okay, bright white light happens, you know, because there's a bright white light in the video game.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed the synergy, or learning about the synergy between this book and some of the other Star Wars media.
That's
you don't
cool.
really often get a look into those types of things. But either way, yeah, Carr is an interesting character because, you know, this is like more of a young youth novel, right? Like slightly, it's not meant for a mature audience like, say, Death Troopers is, you know?
Sure, yeah.
But it was nice to see, like, it's like I was watching a kid discover his love for Star Wars when I'm reading it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it also had Goonies. Like, there's an element of something like that. There's also their friend Maisie. I think it's Maisie and the droid Ozzy, right?
I
believe. Like
AZ7?
AZ. Is it AZ? Not I wrote down Ozzy when I was looking to him.
That sounds good too.
But yeah, the
NZ7.
But whenever
I can't remember now. I gotta look it up.
But whenever I was reading through it, the characters are I don't know. They're kind of sent on this journey because they want. Like, he wants to be connected. His grandma was like, no, you have this force power and you could be a Jedi and all these kind of things. But the journey he takes because he believes, right? And then he convinces Maisie that it's real too. And in that moment, one, I love the amazement that I felt from Maisie. Like, oh my gosh, like, this seems real. How would he know what my dad looks like or whatever it was? But also he had a glimpse and he talked about it being cold and all these things. And I was like, oh man, is this Hoth?
Yeah,
is that what happened? Like, what are we doing here? And I'm like, maybe her dad's this or that. And then as I was like, oh, now I see more. And I'm like, so this must have been Ilum is my only assumption of what he gets a glimpse of it being cold, and he's related to the First Order, and
yeah,
things
he's
like
a
that.
weapons designer for the First Order, and we know what happens to Ilum.
Yeah,
and becomes Starkiller,
and we've seen it in Fallen Order.
Uh-huh.
So it's I don't know exactly at what point it clicked for me, but I was thinking, oh, Hoth in the past. Where's cold? Hoth is cold, you know?
Sure,
What's
I
he
get
doing?
you.
Oh, maybe what's the story going to be like? And then as I got into it, I'm like, oh, man, that's what it is. And it's just reinforcing that Ilum turned into Starkiller base, I think, too. And
yeah, there was a part of me as I was reading that slightly was like, man, we're going to all the places you hear about. Like, is it convenient at all that this is happening? But I was also, you kind of have to do that thing with Star Wars sometimes where it's like, why is this happening? Because of the Force, Eric. The Force is sending him on this destination. And that's why it's connecting with all those things, because those things are important. RZ7.
RZ.
RZ.
Okay, so we called him RZ. Okay. I just kept hearing Ozzy, and I was like, Ozzy. I'm going to write down Ozzy.
Okay. You remember that
RZ.
Because an A-Wing is an RZ-1 A-Wing. So RZ-7 is the droid. Now I can remember everything.
You're going to forget tomorrow, aren't you?
RZ.
I'm going to talk about this next, but I'm going, hey, what was that droid's name? And you're going to tell me what it was.
I'll never forget.
All right.
It'll be on my tombstone.
But yeah, I wrote down Death Star because they had it's cold. Death Star. Like my dad was never on the Death Star. Like I didn't say the Death Star. I said this or that. So I thought that was interesting. But what really hurt was later.
Yeah.
And I was really mad at Maisie.
Yeah.
Because I was like, she betrayed us.
She betrayed
us. And I was so upset. And I was like, I can't believe it. Yeah. She was on their side and a spy. And then later on, we're like,
First Order, man. What are you going to do?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
But I thought it was all a trick the whole time. But then she was like, no, that's not what I was doing. I didn't mean to do that. Like I was just talking to my dad, And I'm like, okay.
There was a part of me, like when that was happening, I kind of flashed to Harry Potter and how Harry will get so angry and not think about things sometimes, where I was like, maybe it's not that way. So I kind of was holding out hope.
Gotcha.
Reading through, let's talk to her first.
I actually felt betrayed.
You felt betrayed.
I was
Good.
Like, they
That's
betrayed
awesome.
us, man.
Yeah.
Usually I'm more like that. It's like, maybe there's something more.
Yeah,
but no,
sure.
I was like, no, Dad's First Order. It's all been a ploy.
Hey, I would rather feel the betrayal than try to guess the meta. I guess I was in the meta head.
Meta head.
Space.
Yeah,
so,
meta space head.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we went to a lot of places, though. You were saying. We went
back to Jakku.
We went to Utapau.
We went to Utapau. That was cool.
That one I thought was going to, this is a weird one. And it was, I think, on Utapau, we met a guy that I'm like, I don't know if this guy exists or if he's a liar or what's going on. Right?
You know talking about the son of a clone?
That he claimed to be the son of a clone. And I was like, wait, can clones have kids? I was like, what was the one guy, Cut? He didn't have real kids.
Those were not his kids.
Well, I mean, they had kids, but they weren't his kids.
Yeah, that was another human that had those kids with the Twi'lek.
And I'm like, man, maybe, am I under the impression they can't have kids, but has it been said they can't have kids? But I don't know. Maybe they can,
I think it makes business sense for the Kaminoans to take that away.
Sure, yeah.
So that you can't grow more army, Ethically, it probably makes sense, too. You had to take a steer to the stock sale, you castrate them, So, I'm not very certain. I also am uncomfortable using those terms when it comes to human beings.
Sure, yeah.
But, yeah, are clones infertile? I don't...
Whenever they were talking about, I've got the best thing out of the Clone Wars. Me! And I was like, oh, man, who's this guy? And he was like, oh, my dad was a clone? I was like, what? And I'm like, dang, man, I don't know. So, I was very surprised about that, and, the ages and stuff probably matched up okay, but I don't know.
There's examples in Legends and canon showing clones having children.
So, all right, well, that's a thing I want to see more about, I suppose. Mm-hmm. I'm just curious. I was surprised. That was one of the bigger shocks in here. I'm like, clone son, what? Mm-hmm. So, but no, the one of the cool things of going to Utapau was we got to see whenever Obi-Wan arrives. He has one of his little visions there.
Tian Madan.
Level. Yeah. And it's like, is he bringing support? Or whatever. It's like, I sure hope so, or whatever he says.
That actor that plays Tian Madan, he is, what would you have seen him in? Do you remember in The Matrix Revolutions, the train man? Neo gets stuck at a train station, and there's a guy with a bunch of watches on his wrist.
Yeah,
that's the train man. That's Tian Madan.
That's the same guy. Okay.
He also played the mouth of Sauron in a cutscene from Return of the King. But yeah, I think he's like a New Zealand actor.
Okay.
But I know him best as Tian Madan.
Well, but then Tian Madan, like we had that whole like scene, and then I think we had like a little bit more, like Obi-Wan like came back, and like it was those little moments that I was like, oh, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because like we travel around a good bit.
Oh,
like I think we go from there, and then we go to.
My favorite was Black Spire Outpost, Galaxy's Edge.
Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah. What's the name of the planet that Black Spire is on? But yeah, we go Batu. That's what it is, Batu.
Batu.
But we go to Batu, and we're in Doc Ondar's Den of Iniquities, like which is the shot. Like so, I've been in Doc Ondar's Den of Iniquities. I've seen the Jedi guard helmet in his shop. So whenever they were in that section where we're going around the shop and he's talking about his lightsabers, like I didn't have to imagine that. Like I've been there, you know?
Gotcha, okay.
So that was really cool.
That was the Ithorian?
Yeah, that's the Ithorian,
right?
Yeah, Doc Ondar.
Gotcha, the one who sent him to Maz.
Yeah. When you go to Disney land and you walk into that shop, he is there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have that at all.
Yeah.
That would be cool to have that kind of moment there, being like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I've been here.
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
I've been there.
Yeah.
I've seen his collection of lightsabers. I was like, oh, he got a collection of lightsabers? Which one are we going to feature? And it was a freaking Inquisitor saber. Dang it. It's the last thing I would go to in a collection of lightsabers.
Like, it could have been like, did they say Inquisitor or did they say Grand Inquisitor?
I mean, I don't remember in that moment. I mean, we definitely know the Grand Inquisitor is involved here.
Sure, yeah.
And it is broken, right?
It is broken.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But
it is
might
the
not
Grand
have been.
Inquisitors? Gotcha.
Is it supposed to be?
One of his. I mean, I'm sure he has a bunch. I don't even know if he has, like, does he have, like, a specific one? Or I don't imagine the Inquisitors are too precious about their lightsaber, you know?
Interesting.
I don't know.
Okay. But yeah, the that whole shop and stuff was really cool. Yeah. I really liked it.
It really felt like an adventure.
It did. That's why I related a lot to like the kind of a Goonies, like a child, child trying to figure out who they are, but also like trying to like he wants to prove the Jedi are real. Mm-hmm. So like he goes to Utapau. They find out like, oh well, they shot down a ship, you know, over here, and they go there, and we get Sifo Dyas stuff. And I was like, oh man, and we get to hear a message before it doesn't work anymore.
It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's so cool.
They even mentioned Silman leaving in a escape shuttle or whatever.
That was the one dude. We saw him in Clone Wars.
Silman, we saw he was the crazy guy in Clone Wars that we saw eating rats and stuff.
Yeah,
that was
in the prison of the Pikes, right?
Yeah, I really felt like the book did it. Like it's called Force Collector, but it did a good job of like collecting various Star Wars moments to put this kid like into the galaxy. And I actually like where we kind of leave off, which is like, hey, I'm gonna keep doing this. Mm-hmm. So I was ready to keep reading.
Yeah,
you know,
like
I hope we see him again.
The cover of the book feels like where the ending is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, not where we start.
Yeah.
But
yeah, the message of Sifo Dyas, as Nexus said, like he did have an intention to come back and talk to the council.
Yeah.
About the Order 66. It just
he was stopped.
Never worked out, or it was the will of the Force. I don't know.
Perhaps, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I think I thought that was really cool, a fun moment for just more of the Sifo Dyas stuff, because it's always been such a mystery. And then like when Clone Wars got into it, I'm like, oh, this is really cool, and this is a little bit more.
And it's fun to get like little tiny pieces, but not one character has all those pieces. We have more pieces, but not one character has enough to figure out in time what happened.
Yeah,
you know.
But you mentioned before, and then we kind of moved a little bit, but we also went to Jakku. But we went there before the events, right? Of Rey taking off.
Yeah, Unkar Plot is there. In the, you know, what was really funny when I was studying for the Schmodown, I was like, okay, Unkar Plot. I'm gonna go to his Wikipedia page. Okay, he has a canteen called the Blockhouse. I did a card about the Blockhouse, but I didn't know where that stuff came from. I thought it was like a source book. It was this book.
It all came from this?
I studied parts of this book, not knowing it, months or a year or two ago now. You know, it's kind of crazy to think about. But yeah, we did have Unkar, and she goes by a tugboat, which we know is the ship that Rey wants to go for. And then we get to a Corellian freighter as well.
Yeah, that was so cool.
Yeah. I think that was one of the best ones for me. I mean, I'm also was kind of thinking of like Luke arriving in the last movie. The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
And kind of having that moment. That's one of my favorite moments from that movie in general. So I kind of almost had like another one of those, which is sit in the Falcon and think about everything that's happened here.
Yeah.
But yeah, what he got from that, like Luke, who was, I just heard, like this guy pulls Star Destroyers out of the sky.
Skywalker.
In the Battle of Jakku. But here, he was a novice. He didn't know anything. He might know less than I do. And I think that was cool.
I like that he hears about Skywalker from the Utapau. Yeah. Like, oh, that's Kenobi and Skywalker. Yeah. I know 2 names. And then he gets here and he's like, oh, that's Kenobi and this is Skywalker. Okay. Yeah. But he doesn't realize that there's more than one there. You know, mm-hmm. He just knows the name Skywalker. Like, he's just trying to pick up what he can. I do like the moment because it is a vision he gets of the original trilogy while being in a place of the newer trilogy. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was a real cool, like, a way to have that vision be there and everything, too.
It definitely, like, because of the nature of this adventure, it unified the 3 trilogies.
Yeah. Yeah, this, all of it was in this. Mm-hmm. Like, and even, like Sifo Dyas is from the prequel trilogy, too, you know, and Clone Wars. Like, it's, like, all that stuff is in there.
He had a vision of Anakin in the temple.
Yeah.
You know, I like how that was used to kind of, like, make himself doubt himself, right? I mean, that's the point of Anakin's story, is watch a good person become the most evil person in the galaxy. It's like, hey, that can happen to anybody if you make the wrong choices.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's the Inquisitor saber touch thing, right?
Yeah.
Is it related to that? And then he sees his own face in the reflection or whatever?
Yeah, he sees his own face, and I'm thinking like, oh, okay, like Empire Strikes Back, Luke sees his face, but he doesn't see his face. He sees someone else's face, which was a shock to me as we learned that. But he his grandmother was not Jahira, right? I'm thinking of Baldur's Gate. Jahara?
Yeah.
I think so.
I don't know if I wrote it down. I'm trying to find it.
I think his grandmother was Jahara. But either way, she turns out is the kid of not a survivor of the Clone Wars, but someone that left the Jedi Order before the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Usually when we deal with Jedi survivors, they generally still believe in the Jedi teachings. They're just frightened.
Sure.
But I liked that his great-grandfather, who was still alive, I liked that he had doubts about the Jedi even before. So he actually believed the Jedi betrayed people. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. You don't really see that from Force-using Jedi. Or former Jedi.
Kind of similar to Ahsoka in like leaving before things happened, but Ahsoka also was still involved in things, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, and then you just glance over the ending.
Like, oh, well, yeah, sure. I'm sorry.
That was a moment too where I was like, oh dang, man, like, I like the relationship that he has with his grandmother.
Me too.
Especially compared to like his parents who are like not for this, they don't believe. This whole book too, I love the legend of the Jedi, right? Like, we know that the Jedi were real, but here you're in a galaxy with however many systems and however many people, and who is still alive that know of the Jedi or has seen the Jedi, you know? How rare was it to see a Jedi back when there was so many of them, right?
Sure.
Like, I don't know, I don't remember how many Jedi are like in the height, right? But there's not millions of them.
No,
you know,
at the height of the prequel trilogy, there's 10,000.
10,000?
So which, I mean, when you consider that there's hundreds of thousands of senators just in the Republic alone, that ain't much.
No,
you know?
Yeah, and like a lot of those Jedi are there at the temple, and then you have some Jedi out and about doing stuff. Yeah. So like, I feel like seeing a Jedi even in their height is not super likely.
Yeah.
Now, jump ahead where there's been the betrayal. People don't talk about the Jedi. Now there's been legends of people being like, are Jedi real? Yeah. And if they were real, were they traitors or were they not? And like, so many of that story of him catching little things, the legend of Skywalker, right? Like, that's why he goes to Jakku, I think it is, because like talking about a Star Destroyer being pulled
because
from
of the
sky
Battle of Jakku,
and stuff, you know?
Which I need to see that if that happened.
It made me think of Force Unleashed.
Yeah, it definitely did. I thought of Battlefront 2. We had a Battle of Jakku in there with Iden Versio, but I don't remember Luke pulling out.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and I don't know if he would have been. I don't know if
or is that the story, which is just as intriguing.
The legend of it all, you know? I remember talking with you or someone about, like, books in the old canon, and, like, he moved, like, a star fleet out of the way or something. Something like that.
He did that. At one point, there's one of his students, I can't remember his name right now, but one of his students gets absorbed into, like, an insect hive mind called the Kilix, I think. And what happens is, like, this student, like, is able to use the force power of all the individuals in the hive. So he's one of the most powerful characters ever, right?
It's like Kip or something. Kip
Durin
right?
is...
Is that right?
Yeah, that's not who this is.
It's not this one? Okay.
It's another person. I can't remember their name. But either way, because he becomes like an insect and like it's really strange and stuff.
Oh.
But it talks about it in the prose that like when he's using the Force to move Luke Skywalker, it's like the power of a black hole is how powerful he is.
Huh.
And yet Luke did not move, you know? So the old legends really pushes up the power level of Luke Skywalker. And I think certain authors like... It's kind of like Superman. Like, I push him to here, and I push him to here. Well, I push him so he pushes infinity, you know? And now you've broken the character.
Yeah,
sure. I do feel a little bit like Legends Luke Skywalker can be a little overpowered sometimes, but that didn't diminish how excited I was when I read that in prose.
Sure, yeah.
You know?
No, it's really cool to have those moments and stuff. And I think the idea of it being Legends and being like, oh, well, I can still think about these moments from Legends as being literal legends in our current canon. I think it's a fun idea of like, oh, you know, this story is a story in Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like Mace Windu's Shatterpoint, I don't believe is a story anymore, but that could be a legend in Star Wars of something Mace Windu, like how great he was, you know?
Yeah.
Let me tell you a story of Mace Windu. You know?
Yeah. I mean, the utilization of legends is, it's kind of like putting an official spin on the idea of headcanon. It's like, do you like it? Well, it's there. You can enjoy it, you know?
But it makes me think of the...
Raynar Thal. That's his name. Oh, my God. I haven't read that name in 20 years. I don't know how long it's been, but that's who it was.
I've never heard of that name.
The guy that was in there. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the
thank you, Jesse and Nexus, for that. So, yeah. But no, I don't know. Just it makes me think of the kids in the stables in The Last Jedi. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Where like
Buka Skywalker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you know, the story the Ewoks were told by C-3PO and like they told, like, because they're probably a tribe, they probably tell stories and they talk about the Golden God and the story they told them and how they stopped the evil, you know? Like where did you know, some of this debris come from or any of this stuff too, you know? Like it's just these stories are passed down over, I mean, it's not that far as how much time has passed. You know, it's not like generations.
Yeah.
But it's a generation or two, maybe, you know.
And it's not all good stories. Like, he also hears the story of a dark warrior that the Tuscans tell.
Oh, dude, that moment, too. Did I write that down? Because that was so cool. And then he talked about, like, seeing, like, a dark image on a rock.
Yeah.
Right? And I thought that was, like, great. And we got the story of the Tusken Raiders where, like, they went out and left, like, some warriors, I think, and their children and wives all back at base. And when they came back, there was, like, no evidence of any of them. And I'm like, oh, my God. That's all there was left was a dark etching on a rock of a shadowy, cloaked figure. And I'm like, that's terrible.
It's dark.
Especially if you think about like Book of Boba and like that tribe and you start like kind of relating like different elements of Star Wars into it. Like I think about like that tribe was pretty cool to Boba, you know? They were just people living out in the desert, you know?
It's interesting for such a pivotal scene of Anakin slaughtering the Tuscans and with the ability to just like expand on Star Wars past the movies. We've never really like seen that.
No.
And I want to say good.
Sure.
Because I'm not one of these guys like I want to see, you know,
Anakin
killing kids in the temple, you know, badass Star.
I don't need to see that either.
I don't want to see that because I don't want my hero to do that, you know, and I don't want to see him killing little Tusken babies and stuff. But there was nothing left, you know, like what happened? I'm kind of curious on that. But it's almost like we're forbidden from looking that deep into Anakin in Episode 2 that way, you know. He's scared of it, yes, and he talks to Padme about it, but you don't get to see it. not like how bad it really got. And that's interesting.
I'm trying to remember if did we see him like burning or anything? Like, I wonder if like he buried the bodies or burned the bodies or any of that. I'm trying to remember if in episode 2 there's any of that, because I feel like he comes out and you hear noises and it's just
hear Qui-Gon, Anakin, no, and then it's just Skywalker is in pain, terrible pain.
Yeah. I don't know. I imagine maybe he like took the bodies and like either burned them or buried them or something like that, and they couldn't find.
Yeah.
But how crazy would it be like you left and you come back and not only is like it's not like family or anyone's dead. It's just they're gone. There's just no evidence of anybody.
And everything just feels cold and dark.
Yeah. And then you look on your wall in your house and there's just a big shadowy figure drawn on it. Like, who had the time to do that while it was happening?
Yeah, right.
Was there a kid being like, what'd you see? Or like as they were dying, maybe he's like, I gotta tell them, watch out for this guy. I don't know.
I mean, they're not going to be the best singers, so maybe they're good artists.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Tuscan's trying to sing. I don't think.
But all the imagery I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
Mm-hmm.
Or the sand buries them. You could have that. I would figure that kind of stuff, though, they would know to look for. Like that. I feel like it has to be something that they're not expecting.
Maybe the massives that they had just like took their bodies in the desert. I don't know. The dogs,
Sure, yeah. Or what's that thing that has like 8 legs or 6 legs or what that was buried in the desert? It popped up looking like Motaro and Goro combined or whatever. Uh-huh. That thing was crazy. But no, that was a great moment too.
Yeah.
What else happened? What'd you think of going to Takodana?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think that was the one. I'm like, damn, we're going everywhere. Is what I kind of said in my head. But no, that was cool. I like how Maz Kanata has this feeling of being this like wise Force user, despite having no evidence that she's ever Force used.
Yeah,
she's just so old and has so much experience that there's not. This isn't the right way to say it. I want to say like there's not a whole lot of mysteries for her, but that's not true. Everything is a mystery for her. She just goes with the flow. Mysteries don't bother her. She's very comfortable saying, I don't know, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's one of those things, too, like, because Ahsoka and the way that Dave Filoni has been talking about his conversations with George Lucas, but like, hey, anybody can be a Jedi. You just got to have the training and discipline to do it. But then you have, like, Nexus is saying, like, well, she's Force sensitive, but she doesn't manipulate it. Say, I don't even know if Force sensitive means anything anymore. Sometimes, like it does because midichlorians are in your blood, and that has to do like powerful Jedi can have powerful offspring. I get it.
Well, even with Carr in this one, like it feels like he has like was it psychometry?
Yeah,
and like some Force sensitivity, but he's not going to be a Jedi. It seems right. Like he's trying to almost preserve the history and the legend and the stories, and he can get glimpses into that.
Yeah,
but he's not like picking up stuff with the Force. He's not going to have a lightsaber. Like he's not going to be like a Jedi, but he's just Force sensitive out there. Whereas I don't think Han Solo really has like a Force sensitive thing. But you could argue like all because of this or this, maybe he does, and that's why he can fly so well, or why whatever it is.
It's interesting. Like can you call yourself a Jedi if you just aspire to be one? Like if I aspire to be a U.S. Marshal, it doesn't matter unless I actually have an affiliation with the Marshal's office.
Sure.
And there is no Marshal's office anymore.
Sure.
So I don't know.
So, like, because the Jedi Order no longer exists, could Carr become a Jedi even though it doesn't?
Yeah.
Or is he just forever to be a Force-sensitive individual unless a new order was to appear?
Sure.
That kind of thing? That would be interesting.
Jesse thinks that he'll go to Rey's order. There was a part of me that was like, man, I would like this guy to meet someone and like actually be able to be part, because a Force collector, as like that's my role in the group, is really cool party layout.
Yeah.
No,
that would be really cool. I like that. And the fun thing too is like when we were talking about Plot, right? Plot Unkar, is that his name?
Unkar Plot, yeah.
Unkar Plot. When he's talking to him, he gives him something, being like, "Oh, this is, whatever it is," and he like, "This is nothing. I don't want this at all." The psychometry power he has allows him to go and look through things and be like, "Oh, this is something I want. This does have meaning or history, or was used by a Jedi, or was used to kill a Jedi, or like things like that." So I'm like, it's cool that he can be that, like, he could be like a museum curator.
I was just going to say that. Like, can you imagine having that power and just going to a museum? I'd go to a museum every day.
That would be sweet. But, like, he could be like a Jedi, like a Jedi archive, and he can actually tell you, like, this is what it's connected to. And what if, like, he wrote in a journal after touching things and made sure, like, if he ever touched it again, does it give him something else or something more? Because, me having this item doesn't mean that only one vision should ever happen with it. What about another time I had it with me? Or what about someone else who came around and used it? Or, any of that. So,
sure, I get you.
Like, if he has the Grand Inquisitor's weapon, or if he has... I know Maz Kanata has Luke's saber, right? Or Anakin's saber.
It's a story
right?
for a different time.
Yeah, but, like, when he touches that, what vision does he get? Yeah. Does he get something related to Anakin? Does he get something related to Luke? Does he get elements in between before Maz gets it?
Sure.
Does he touch it different times and gets a different vision each time? So, like, I imagine, like, you have that in the museum, but every time he touches it, if it's a different vision, he's writing down and keeping elements of the story there so that this is what this is. And I think it's
Me too.
That'd be a cool thing to have. Even if he never became a Jedi in, like, Rey's New Order.
Yeah.
If he's, like, I don't know how far in the future it's going to be or, like, how old he would be there. But imagine having, like, kind of like an older curator guy who's like, oh, you're looking for Skywalker. Sure. He's like, this was his saber. And let me tell you the stories about it, or whatever.
I mean, this is shortly before Force Awakens, right?
Yeah, it has to be because the Falcon's still there, right?
I mean, the first two movies in the sequel trilogy are right after each other.
Sure.
And then there's a year between the 2 and 3.
Yeah. So the main thing is just
I should say 8 and 9.
What's the gap before if they're going to do the New Order movie?
Yeah.
What's the gap there?
Sure.
Like, he wouldn't be too much older.
He wouldn't be. No, he would be younger. Nexus says 2 years before Force Awakens.
2 years? So, so you get 2, 3, what? Like, we're at maybe 5 years, and then we're past everything and going into maybe the New Order? I don't know. I don't know how much time you'd need after, but yeah, it could be really cool to have him be involved in that.
It reminds me of, like, the old, in Legends, there was, like, the Jedi Knight books, like the young youth novels, and there was this idea that if you, like, failed as, like, a Jedi or, like, your Jedi trials, they'll just, like, push you off to other things. Like, there are Jedi farmers. You can be part of the Ag Corps,
Okay.
You can be maybe there's, like, there's Wayfinders, there's Force Collectors. I like all these different non-combative Jedi jobs we could have.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool.
This also makes me think about, in that same idea of jobs, like how cool it would be to have a Quinlan book revolving around the path. Because as being someone trying to guide people and take people to safety, having this kind of power, I don't know if can they use it on people? Can I touch somebody? If, like, Quinlan, maybe, if he gets strong enough in the Force and good enough connection. Is it only items?
I feel like it's only items.
Because, like, what if I can, like, touch to, like, kind of get a sense of, like, where you've been? Like, if you come to me being like, oh, I want to help you for the Jedi.
Sure.
But then I touch you and find that you've been, talking to an Imperial and you're trying to find where all the Jedi are hiding, like... Quinlan's great in the Clone Wars as, like, a detective because of being able to touch and see, like, evidence of this or that. But I was like, what kind of powers could you have in there for him doing the path and, like, trying to lead people to safety? And
sure, yeah.
Maybe you just touch someone's blaster and you can get a little vision of what they were doing with it or something,
Yeah.
But
it kind of reminds me of, like, stories about ghosts, how people talk about, well, let's say it's not ghosts aren't human spirits, but they are echoes of energy. So if something really terrible happened in a place, maybe that echo of that energy lingers, and I think that happens in locations and objects, not necessarily people, right? So
sure.
I don't think it's ever been.
How about a dead body?
Maybe. If
that
there's no
count?
soul,
Yeah.
Is that just
like
a hunk of meat?
Like when
in
KOTOR went to that one tomb and woke up whoever he woke up, and then he was not happy with me.
I get what you mean. Like if I had Psychometry and then Chewbacca was about ready to get into that trap in the Ewoks, could I be like, no, the Ewoks did this?
Yeah, right? Yeah, like that could be
because
really
it's
cool.
a dead animal. I don't know.
No, don't touch it, Chewie.
Yeah. I think it would be interesting to have someone that uses Psychometry, and I don't know if I'm saying it right, by the way. I know I get it wrong all the time. People make fun of me. But if they use Psychometry, but they can't see the past, they can only see the future of an item. That would be interesting, especially coupled with the idea that the future is always in motion.
Yeah.
I like the idea of, like, I'm here for the psychometry course. Okay, here, touch this. What do you see? And it's like, you die. Like, what? Like, you die tomorrow? What are you talking about, kid? I don't know.
Class canceled tomorrow. Stay home.
That would be kind of a fun little. I don't know if that's how the power can possibly work, but it's fiction. It can work any way we want.
Yeah, it could. I mean, good. It really could. Yeah. That's another thing too with like the growth of powers too, right? Yeah. Like how maybe one person can be stronger in this if that's the only thing they're really good at.
Sure.
Better than someone else can. You know, especially if this person isn't focused on. Cal can do this, but he's also fighting with lightsabers. He's doing force pulls. He's doing, he's doing other abilities and stuff too.
Yeah.
I don't know if Car's going to do all that kind of stuff, but traveling around and his main focus is finding items and touching them and seeing what he can get out of them.
Sure.
Like maybe it gets even stronger in that.
Yeah.
So in Maz Kanata's, they had a medal, which I thought was really funny because of. This was from Han Solo. It was his medal that he got from A New Hope, right? Uh-huh. But then he touches it, and it's like, well, no, this is Skywalker's medal. And Maz's like, he would,
right?
He gave me his friend's medal.
He gave me the other medal, yeah.
Which is
you swindler.
Which if he's aspiring to be a Jedi, he might just be like, I don't, this is an attachment kind of thing. But I don't know if Luke, he's also trying to save his father too, so he might just stolen it from him or something. But I just thought it was a funny thing where it's like, he would do this. But he also touched an arm. And
I love when he touched the arm.
I thought it was a cool thing. There's so much there.
Not only is it cool that he's getting all that information, but I love that the thing that has seen the most of what we love is a droid. It's C-3PO. 3PO has been there for everything.
Oh,
I mean, R2, yes.
He don't remember it.
Yeah, he don't remember it.
But he's been there.
But the memory lingers just the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really, really cool. I love touching arms. Someone's like, I love touching arms. But no, that was the sheer amount of things that they got from that was.
Yeah.
It made me very happy reading that part. Or I should say listening to that part.
Oh, yeah. They talked about the music in that during the audiobook was so good. It talked about like pod races. It talked about Vader. It talked about like just all these things. Yeah. Just popping out.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't know was talking about how it got from the belly of that beast. So I don't know how that pertains to this, because at first I was like, what do you mean from the belly of the beast? Like, what are you talking about from there? And I was like, I can't think of anything in the movies I know. So maybe there's like another book or another like
possible
storyline in a comic or something.
Nexus says you'll find that out.
Okay. All right. I was wondering if it's like something that has been told and I just haven't gotten there yet, or if it's something that's like, oh, well, that they left that there because they want to touch on it in the future or something.
Oh yeah,
I suppose
does
3PO has like a red arm,
he does.
right, in the sequel trilogy?
Captain Solo, you're probably here to talk about my new arm.
Yeah, okay, I thought
he does.
So.
He has a red arm in Force Awakens.
So he might have lost this here and it got replaced. Because didn't he have like a different color leg too?
He had a silver leg in Episode 4. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. But I was like, well, that's weird.
I always thought that was just cool. Like eventually, droids are going to need new parts.
You just use what you got?
Yeah, at some point. It's just, it already is giving history into that character.
They took like TC-14's leg or something like that? Or
yeah. TC-14.
Sorry, that's all we had was a TC unit, so we put that on there. So, but yeah, I thought that was a really cool moment of him, and now he has so much information and so much knowledge. And
it just made me like love and appreciate 3PO a little bit.
Yeah, right? Like he's been there. He's always been there.
So. Yeah, but I so rarely get emotional with him. It's only really like whenever he might be gone forever in Episode 9, where with R2 or whatever, when they're gonna wipe his mind, that I ever got like emotional with 3PO. But I got a little emotional with this one, so it was nice. Also
with Maz, the feelings he gets from the it's not a temple, I don't think, right? The building they're in and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was interesting too. Like talked
castle.
about the castle. Like he felt like pressure above and below of like the people gone and what's in the building and then the walls. And
when Hans says in Episode 7, she's been running this for 1,000 years. There's a lot of history there.
That's crazy. It's a long time.
I mean, she's been running it since the Sith have been gone. Like the Sith left and came back, and she was still running it, and it was a millennia. She's older than Yoda.
She is. Mm-hmm. I wonder if that's why she likes Chewie so much, because he's older too.
He's
right?
250. Yeah, he's 250. Or he's 250 and
he's not as old.
Yeah.
Oh. Dang, thank you, Alex in Scotland, for the gifted subs. Thank you, Gonk.
Alex.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Gonk. Good boy.
We also have, I think, a Gonk emote, right? Isn't there a Gonk emote on Twitch now?
If there isn't, it's making its way to it.
There's sub hypes I see coming out, but if not, I think there's going to be there's a Gonk emote. There it is.
It is here.
Thank you, Gonkers.
I was like, I'm pretty sure I worked on that at one point.
Yeah. So now there's a new Gonk emote over on Twitch too. So yes, for the Gonk.
Mm-hmm.
Gonk.
Spread it far and wide, please.
And thank you, Alex.
Does Kyle Katarn have a Twitch? He loves Gonks.
Yeah, I don't know.
Kyle Katarn, the
At
YouTuber,
first I was like,
not the character.
Well, he probably has a Gonk somewhere. You know?
On that,
Yeah.
on the Ravencrow. Ravenclaw. I can't remember what the name of his.
Ravenclaw's Harry Potter, but I don't know if it's also a ship. But I also don't know the Kyle Katarn game.
Kyle Katarn has a ship called it's a bird and something.
So like
I'm losing my
Millennium
memories, Aaron.
Falcon.
Yeah.
Right?
I can't remember now.
Gonkers Unite. Yeah, Saint Angel.
Gonkers Unite. The Moldy Crow.
The Moldy Crow.
I was routed about the bird,
what
man.
a name.
The Moldy Crow.
I mean, it's bound to be better than the Outrider.
It's a Dash Radar.
Maybe we should replay that sometime.
Yeah.
I don't know how hard it would be, but I remember it being kind of harder when I was a kid.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I played that Battle of Hoth opening level like 200 times. I beat the rest of the game like 3 times.
Yeah. The Hoth level was great, and it was the very beginning. And then after that, like when you're a person, it was like, all right, shoot him, run. And the junkyard was so hard with the trains, and that's like the third level or something.
Yeah, that one's crazy. There's like the underwater Dianaga.
Oh gosh,
that's nuts. There's some good stuff on
There's
there.
jetpack through the canyons and stuff, and then you find an ATST, and
I would replay that.
It's been
whenever
a long time
Dash
since I
gets
played
hurt. I'm like, God, I hate when he gets hurt.
It's been so long. What else did I have here? The story of Kara I like a lot. Maz gives a lot of advice and stuff too. I like the idea that like Jedi or not, you must make your own like story. What are you wanting to do?
Yeah.
I said before about liking the way the grandma like was portrayed in this, and it felt like she was the only one wanting to tell him, what he is. You know what I mean? Like where his history is. Mm-hmm. But also, like, encourage him to be what he wants to be.
Yeah.
And then everyone else, like, your parents are going to send him, like, a trade school or something, right?
They were, yeah. But, I mean, well, and that's another thing, too, because we also in here have the revelation that's kept secret, or the secret that is revealed.
Sure.
Right? Like, Obi-Wan doesn't tell Luke about Anakin. He does from a certain point of view, but he holds it back. Sorry, I'm very burpy right now.
Sure.
But I like that we kind of had that in there, and I actually kind of like that the parents, both of the kids' parents, were like they're supportive of their kids. You don't get that a ton in Star Wars because either your parents are dead or distant, or
I feel like they at least are once he like confronts them and talks.
Yeah,
right.
Where we end up at is what
we
I mean.
get to that point.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it feels like, oh no, we can't, and it feels more, I guess, protective, right? Don't think, no Force stuff, none of this. Let's send him to trade school. The headaches hopefully will go away. We'll just forget about it. But when the confrontation happens and everything with the parents, and like Maisie's like, well, let's just go, and like, can you please look? I want to go. It almost feels like you better send me, or I'm gonna sneak off anyway.
Yeah.
So why don't you just support this and then we'll go? And like, okay, fine, let's do this. But I liked that. I liked how much Maisie supported once I found out that she wasn't like trying to betray
she's not a
us.
betrayer. Yes.
Yeah. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I didn't RZ get shot?
They shot his arm off.
It was just his arm. Okay. Because there was a point I was like, oh God, they just killed this droid. Because like
I was convinced like his arm's off. He's getting 3PO's arm.
Oh, dude, that could have been.
That's
cool.
what I was convinced of. But
at one point, like, I thought like the First Order aspect was going to be a little bit more antagonistic, I suppose.
Sure.
But overall, like, there's not
they can't,
too much of an antagonist in this.
They can't be, right? Like, the whole point of Leia's resistance is that the New Republic is like, what evidence do you have that they're bad? Like, they're allowed to exist, you know? Like, they can have their own systems, but they're not going to attack us or anything. Like, that's ridiculous. And Leia's like, no, this is going to happen. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. And it happens.
Yeah.
So you can't have them be too crazy, I suppose.
5 times worse than A New Hope.
Yep. 5 times. Yep.
Let's see. But yeah, you're talking about the reveal element of it, right? Like, we go to whatever the last planet is. I forget. I don't know if we knew it or not, but I was not expecting him, I guess, to be alive still. The grandfather, great-grandfather, whichever one it is.
It would be his grandmother's father.
Grandmother's father, okay. Yeah,
his maternal grandfather.
So his great-grandfather.
Yeah. But he was still alive.
Yeah. For then.
Enough.
Yeah. Enough to talk, enough to go over things, enough to kind of have like a moment until he was done. Yeah. It was like he was there enough. It reminded me a little bit of like I remember my grandfather, like when he wasn't doing well, he was at home in like a hospice care kind of thing, and it was like his oldest son who lived down south was like, oh, well, he's gonna come and he's gonna come and visit and say hi. And there was that day that my Uncle John got there, they talked and they were able to hang out, and it was that evening he passed. And it felt like a moment of getting that, oh, good, last thing that I needed to get taken care of, and then moved on. And this kind of made me think of that a little bit, where it was like he came and then he's like, well, no, let me talk to you, grandfather, about this stuff. And like they have these conversations, and then it kind of, he's, I don't know if at ease or whatever it is. Like I don't need to hide anymore. I know where my daughter is. Yeah. Right. I understand what happened with that. She has passed and had a good life, kind of thing. And I don't need to try to keep hiding to keep her safe. You know, like there were elements of that I felt like were all in there. And yeah, the at peace element I thought was really cool. Me too. And then he gets like his robe, and I was like, oh, it's so cool. His lightsaber. Yeah, and his lightsaber.
No, that's awesome. And then when we leave, we blow up his house.
Well, yeah, we got to get rid of all the evidence. I'm so glad they were like, we're not going to, you're going to take something, right? You know, like we had that kind of thing. Because if they had gotten rid of all of it, I'd have been like, dang, man, that'd been, I was like, they were talking about them, like, there's so much here. You better take some stuff, please. You've been collecting stuff from everywhere. No one else is going to touch this stuff and be like, wait a minute, what's this, you know? So I was so glad they took some stuff. But yeah, it was one of my, I really like that. Like the whole book. I think a mixture of being able to jump into different elements of Star Wars that I already know while introducing me to this new character that I don't know, but also giving me like the legend of the Jedi, what people in the galaxy think about them or don't think of them, you know, like all of that I thought was really interesting. And it kind of paired with, was it the last book we did? The one with Mon Mothma, I think it was, when talking about like the Jedi and who cared about them and why people didn't want to, like, hey, you killed a Jedi. Is this not a bigger deal? And no one's talking about it. And like so much of it just disappears so quickly.
Yeah, none of the people, like Bale's like, what the heck? Why aren't we doing anything about this?
Yeah. Like having that, like we had that moment, I think, last book. And now we have this book. And it's like we saw right at the very beginning what happened and why people didn't care. You know, it's like, well, what are we going to do about it? They're all dead. Yeah. What does proving that do? And then now we're here and it's like, yeah, no one's talking about it because why were they talking about it? They were all gone, you know? Even if there is like little remnants and elements of, you know, Rebels, Ahsoka, you know, whoever that are out there doing Jedi things, Cal Kestis. It's so much fewer and far between than when we had 10,000 Jedi out, you know, during the prequels. So, no. Yeah. I like this book a lot. I thought it was really good. Maybe I'm more of a young adult reader, and they fit well for me or something. You know, I don't know.
Necessarily. I mean, I think like stuff like The Glass Abyss with Mace Windu, like so much of that, like 99% of it was brand new information. Yeah. You know, and it's hard to solidify yourself and know where you are or who you recognize. You know, Star Wars is great about that because if you wanted to, you could just not read Star Wars books. You could read any type of book and get really cool stories, but at the very least, that's one of the things I like about Star Wars or stuff like Harry Potter. Like, it got kids to read.
Sure.
Star Wars got me to read.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Star Wars, I probably wouldn't have read. Like, I got into Star Wars books before I got into Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't the biggest reader other than, like, the Bible, I guess. I don't know. But I was more of a movie watcher and stuff like that, and never really put a whole lot of stock into it until I picked up a Star Wars book, and I was like, oh, my God, there's more?
There's more stories, you know? I don't know.
So I'm very thankful for the franchise for doing that, because I've since went out and read other books, and then I took a break, and now I'm back with Star Wars books.
Yeah. And now there's so many.
Yeah, there's so many. We definitely have to catch up.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, book I thought was really good. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I hope to see Carr again in the future, or, you know, like I said before, this also made me think about Quinlan, and like maybe we can get Quinlan stories or something like that too, of figuring out where he went or what happened with him, you know?
Sure.
But
yeah, we'll see.
I don't know if we have
as we learn more about like this era, I'm constantly going to be like, all right, well, maybe in the Rey Jedi movie we could see a character like this pop up, and I would love it. Like, I'm still going to think of that for Cal Kestis, but I mean he's going to be old by then.
Oh yeah,
that's what 15 years after or something like that. I don't know.
Like maybe you get some, maybe you make him the old curator, and you send Carr out to go get more stuff. You know, and he's the collector, and you know he's the curator.
Yeah, sure.
It'd be a fun little thing. Pair them together. I don't know if we had any questions related to the book or anything. But if we did, we could snag a few of those. Unless you had any other thoughts that we didn't
I don't
get
have
to
any
cover.
other thoughts.
Didn't get to cover yet about this, but let's see. I don't see anything from those two.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got Andor. Force Awakens. Andor.
No. Well, I think we're good on Force Collector.
Okay.
Good book. Want to see more of that character.
Yeah.
But I can also be patient. We'll see.
Yeah.
There's already one. I just don't know about it. I don't know.
Yeah. I did like the cover. So, like,
yeah.
I'm like, oh, man, I hope, like, you know, it'd be so cool to have the New Order movie and you see someone with, like, a backpack with a stormtrooper helmet, you know, their stick and stuff, too.
And a green lightsaber.
Yeah, like, just something like that would be really cool. Yeah. Which they talked about, like, I like that they had a helmet, and it was like, oh, this is a stormtrooper that got mind tricked one time, and I was like, oh, cool. Yeah. I don't know if it relates to anything specifically, but
I thought of Ezra.
Oh, that would be really cool.
A little bit.
That'd be like it's because I think he's talked about it, but they didn't show us anything with it. So, but I thought it was a fun nod to just stormtroopers having that happen a lot.
Yeah.
But all right. Well, that is the Force Collector. We are going to be having another book because that's what we do.
Yes, sir.
And Eric, I think, has the name of the next
book.
The
book is going to be Most Wanted by Ray Carson. It is, at least from the cover, a Han Solo book, and Kira was on there as well. It takes place 13 BBY, which is it would be the same year that Han leaves Corellia before he goes to the Empire and stuff. So
okay.
I'm guessing it'll probably be stuff with the what was her name? Lady Proxima.
Lady Proxima, yeah.
And the Scrum Rats or whatever they were called. Maybe we'll have something about that.
Okay.
So this might get me. I'll probably have to read this book and watch Solo.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I think Solo might be one of the newer movies that I've seen more, or at least I've put on more than any of the others. I haven't gone through the sequel trilogy with the kids still. So I've kind of just been like, well, I'm not going to watch those again until I watch them with the kids, just to kind of like re-experience it with them. But yeah, I'll watch Solo again and go through that. So that'd be fun.